brought them corruption and really enslaved them, just like what happened on the mainland with the Native Americans. And so there's still a lot of anger there, but what Source has shown me is for us to clear this, we have to clear that cellular memory. It's really important that all that old energy, though we hold the history and we can honor the history, it's time to rewrite the story. It's time to take that ancient old and blend it with the sacred new, and it's time to release all the pain and all the cellular memory that's causing enslavement and suffering. And so I was very much doing that on the island before I even met this woman, and that's what I felt called to help Hawaii with in an energetic way, and what I will continue to assist with as I get called back for retreats and things that will happen in the future that I'm sensing are going to go down. But what was interesting is with this woman telling me all these things she felt, and then I was telling her what I understood, and I just told her, you know, we need to really pay attention to the miracle that's happening right now, because for this dog, this soul, bigger than a dog, this soul, this amazingly awake and aware soul that would leave its form that it loved and leave its soul sister that it loved to be reincarnated in Maui and to come to you two women in particular, and then you and I would meet for me to get this dog back, and we would reconnect. I said, we might want to really pay attention to the importance of this synchronistic experience, because I feel it's much more important and powerful than maybe some could see. And she was thinking about it. She's like, you are right. Like, there is something bigger going on. So I say that to each of you, because if this is happening in my life, it can be happening in your life as well. And some of us, the only reason we won't notice these miracles is because we're not paying attention to these little synchronistic things. We're not honoring them. We're not having gratitude for when the magic happens. We may not be journaling it down or paying attention. And it doesn't mean the magic isn't happening. It's just you're not paying attention. There's so many humans on this planet that are so blessed and so cared for. We're all supported. We're all cared for. But so the difference between a soul that is living in the magic and that is, you know, flowing with life and having an amazing time and beautiful things are happening, the difference between that soul and one that's suffering and seems to not have anything going right, not having what it wants, often is a focal point of gratitude, like really paying attention to what you're grateful for and really celebrating every little magical moment and even calling forth new ones, paying attention to them and thanking your angels, thanking the universe, thanking Source for all the miracles and for summoning in the new experiences, because I promise you they're there. It's just if we're not looking for them, if we're not open to them, then we're sitting there looking at the sadness and the pain and the anger and the hate and the judgment. We're choosing to live a much smaller form of existence. We're choosing to get caught up in that personality, ego part of ourselves, and we're denying the soul part of ourselves. And that soul part is connected to everything. And so for me to feel that summoning to Maui, to go find my dog, for her to know I'm her soul sister and to recognize me, this is the connection of the soul. And the souls are all connected. For me to recognize the woman I'm talking to on the phone and to be like, you know, we know each other. And this is, I think we have some important work we're going to be doing. This is the deeper understanding of the soul. And so when we're in alignment, we will honor the soul calling and we will honor all the other souls that come in that are here to assist with this bigger mission. But when we get caught up in the ego personality, we get in the small place and we compete, we compare, we can be like buffaloes bulldozing our way energetically through situations, and we're trying to take it from people. We're trying to compete with them. We think there's not enough. And so we're that little droplet of water flailing around trying to deny the entire ocean. And it can be quite humorous to ones that are observing it with alignment, but to the ones going through it, it can be very exhausting. And to the ones in their movie that aren't aware, it can be really exhausting to them too, because it's just like they take their personality types, those two water droplets are just like fighting for their space. And so if we can kind of see ourselves like that, see ourselves that the personality, the Tanya part of my soul, this spacesuit that I'm wearing, that's Tanya Love's spacesuit, this is just the shape-shifted form that I've chosen for the soul. The soul is so much bigger and infinite and vast and intelligent, and it's connected to all the other souls, and I can tune in, and this is how I can connect and heal here to Texas. It doesn't matter. Australia, we can connect because we're at the soul level. We are one. But if we're stuck in personality ego space, we fight and we compete and we suffer. And so I feel like that's something just to keep in mind for our own journeys, that, you know, if we're suffering in some way, if we're feeling inadequate, or if we're competing and we're not feeling like we're enough, we are most likely identifying with ego personality type, not connecting to the soul essence. So I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to go into reading the shape-shifting cards. So is anybody calling in or writing in?
No, but we have Kathy and Cindy here, and Eileen is here, and Mayan.
Mayan! That's the one that I was talking to. So Mayan, if you want to call in, feel free to call in, and you can chat with us and let us know what you want to share with that. Or if you want to type anything in, I would love to open that opportunity for you.
She's saying, mahalo for sharing this wonderful example of co-creation and service, Tanya.
Yes. And it is absolutely that. Like, there were so many, like, I was telling her on the phone, like, I couldn't stop telling her how much I honored her and this woman, Tanya, for taking care of Honey Girl and the woman Dawn and all these volunteers. Like, there was even little children. This little girl was so adorable that was helping, and there was just so much love in this organization of these people that are there looking out for these animals. And it was so amazing to see how these two women had so much awareness that this dog, Honey Girl, was really meant to go to a very specific place, and that they knew that, and that they were very much watching also. And so it's so miraculous and so amazing. And I have so much honor from my heart and soul to these people for taking care of her. And it breaks my heart in a level that she was hurt and abused and messed with in this journey. But at another level, as I tuned in with her and I have been doing some telepathic communication with each other, she, at a soul level, was explaining to me that she went to understand these things because in her first part of her journey with me, I was the one going through abuse and being enslaved, and I was really messed with. And as a soul, my dog, she came into my world to liberate me, to help me stand my ground, to help me walk with courage. It's gonna make me cry, but she really, like, she taught me how much I was worth, and she really mirrored that to me, like, in her boldness. Like, I remember once my ex-husband just yelling at my dog and telling her to get outside, and she just sat and looked at him defiantly, and he couldn't stand that. He was just like, oh, your dog is so damn entitled, and he'd get so upset. And I would just look at her, and I'd be like, you know, she's not entitled. Like, she just needs you to respect her. Like, you just need to talk to her with respect. And I would stand up for her, and then I realized that day, like, it may not have stood out to him very much, but I'll never forget that day, because I remember after saying that, realizing, what the hell, Tanya? Like, what are you putting up with? Like, you put up with this abuse every day, and you put up with being talked to like this all the time. And so her and I, like, we went through a lot, and she was a silent teacher. She didn't need to speak. She just would show me through her actions. And what's amazing is her soul taught me how to be that, like, you can teach through words, but you can also teach so much more powerfully through your aligned action. And I feel that her soul in this life and in this reincarnation, she went through this pain and she went through this abuse because she wanted to understand. And so the reason I share this with all of you is that as a soul, each of us on this planet, we are going through things because we want to understand. We want to understand others. So I may be like fine, like say there's a person and she's just fine and dandy, everything's going great in her life, and she has a friend comes along who's abused and who is being messed with, and she's just like, what is wrong with her? Like, why does she tolerate this? Why is she going through that? And the friend's watching it, but she doesn't understand. And it's hard for her to even maybe have empathy or compassion because she doesn't get it. Well, that soul, maybe without even meaning to, will just be like, why is that happening? And what makes a person do that? And these questions we put out to the universe will then bring an experience and an opportunity for us to learn through experience. So a soul will choose its own journey of experience. And sometimes it's very dark, painful things because the soul wants to understand it. And then once it understands it, the big goal is that it will then remember itself, it will realize itself, and it will rise and ascend out of that darkness and out of that pain. It won't stay stuck there and feel like it's nothing. And so if you can think about how this is an animal mirroring this to us, but how many of us as humans have been here, or we've been maybe not in the abusive place or the fearful place, but we've been the one observing someone in that place and how they're showing us and mirroring things to us. And we don't have to always experience it personally. We can honestly learn a lot from observation. And I encourage you to just start paying attention through your observation, because that is a way that we can learn quickly. But some souls, it's like they need to learn by getting their butts kicked. Like some souls cannot understand that the stove is hot until they go touch it. And then they're like, ow, that burns. And now they learn. And so what helps me have compassion for all the clients I work with and even my family and friends is that if we can see them all as souls and we can love each other as this vast ocean of energy and we're all one, we can really have this compassion for each other and each other's journey. Why every soul is going through what it needs to go through to learn, and we don't have to judge it, but we can be there and offer support and compassion. We can offer our empathy and kind of encourage a soul to come back to self-realization, but without feeling like there's something wrong with them if they're on the journey and they're getting burned by the stove. I really learned that there's a perfection to the dance. And this dance of life it's everything that we need to learn is what we're going to draw to us. Everything that we need to have come to us so that we understand deeply, we will call to us. And so if we're really ready to start enjoying our life and celebrating life and not suffer, I encourage you to focus on that and focus on the magic and on the miracles and these synchronistic events like how I met Honey Girl. Like focus and look for the magic, ask for it, because sometimes our souls don't mean to, but we'll start looking at the darkness too long. We'll start questioning it. What's going on? Why is that happening? And why? And we'll get pulled into that energy. And it's okay to go there if the soul needs to, go for it. But if a day comes that you've been on a journey and it's been dark for a long time and you're needing more light, you're needing more high vibration, I encourage you to start calling that forth. I encourage you to start seeking that light and start focusing on it and calling that energy in and being that energy, like really embodying the light. Because I was talking in my Empowering the Empath workshop last night with the women that came, and I was like, we create through the word and we create through our expression. And there's the opportunity to be a white magician or a black magician. And I mean white and black, just meaning high vibration, light, high frequency, or low vibration, hate, fear, anger, sadness. And so when we're speaking with our word, we need to really watch what is the intention in the words that we're speaking. What is the intention in the thoughts that we are thinking? Because if our thoughts are dark and heavy and fearful, the words will come out matching that. And then the words will come out as black magic. We will start to create through our words. So if we really desire a more beautiful planet, a higher frequency experience, and a higher frequency planet where there's love and there's miracles and there's beauty, we need to be so aware of our thoughts and so aware of the spoken words, like what we're expressing to life, because we are co-creating new experiences through our word. And so really think about that. Like if you're, I had an experience where I was with a woman and she's very psychic and she has psychic experiences. And honestly, every one of us has the ability to have psychic experiences. I just want to put that out there. because we all are connected to the ocean. We're all the soul. The big essence is our connection. So the ones who have psychic premonitions and psychic experiences more often are just